Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
1. Introduction. South Korea has seen a remarkable change in a short time. This is a story of big transformation. Today, South Korea is a leader in technology around the world. People everywhere use their advanced products like smartphones and memory chips. Many also enjoy their culture, such as K-pop music and television dramas. South Korea is now a rich and modern country, influential globally in many areas. But 60 years ago, the country looked very different. After the Korean War, which ended in the year 1953, South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world. The war destroyed factories, farms, and roads. There was widespread damage across the nation. Many people were very poor and had no steady jobs. The country had to rely on help from other nations, especially for food and basic needs. It was truly a nation built on ruins. How did this poor country become a rich, modern, and powerful economy so quickly? This massive change happened in just a few decades. This speed of growth is very unusual in history. Many people call this period of rapid development an economic miracle. This transformation needed many important factors working together. The government played a strong role. They created big, 5-year plans for the economy. The goal was to build industries that could produce goods for export. This strategy was the first step toward growth. Large family-owned companies also grew very big, helping to build new industries. We will look closely at this journey. We will see how education became the most important focus for families. This story is about moving from making simple products to inventing complex technologies. It is the story of South Korea's rise from poverty to becoming a global technology superpower in the 21st century. 2. A country in ruins. The Korean War ended in 1953. This conflict lasted 3 years, from 1950 to 1953. The war caused terrible damage across the entire country. South Korea was left in ruins when the fighting stopped. The destruction was massive and widespread. After the conflict, South Korea was officially one of the poorest nations in the whole world. Most industrial facilities and factories were completely destroyed. The country had almost no way to produce goods or create wealth. It was difficult to imagine how the nation could ever recover. The economy was weak and underdeveloped. It was mainly an agrarian economy. This means that most people worked as farmers, growing food in the fields. Cities were destroyed, forcing many people back to the countryside. South Korea had very few natural resources available to help build industries. Life was focused on day-to-day survival, not long-term progress. Because of this massive destruction, the country could not support itself. It needed help simply to survive. South Korea became heavily dependent on foreign aid. Money, food, and necessary supplies came from other countries. The United States was the main provider of this crucial assistance. This aid was essential for feeding the population and meeting basic needs. Without this help, the situation would have been much worse in the 1950s. Life was extremely challenging for the average person. Poverty was widespread across the nation. Many families struggled daily to find enough food and safe shelter. Finding a job was difficult because there were so few functioning businesses. Unemployment rates were very high. At the same time, the country suffered from rampant inflation. This means that the prices for everyday items increased very quickly. Money lost its value almost overnight. This made saving money or planning for the future almost impossible for poor families trying to rebuild their lives. Roads, ports, and power plants were badly damaged or gone. Millions of people had lost their homes and livelihoods. South Korea faced huge challenges just to provide basic services. Many international observers believed the country had little chance of ever growing rich. It was a nation stuck in deep poverty. South Korea had to overcome these terrible conditions to even begin thinking about economic growth. 3. The government's big plan. The 1950s were difficult years for South Korea. The economy was weak, and the country depended on help from other nations. However, in the early 1960s, the government decided things must change quickly. Waiting for slow growth was not an option. The government chose to take a very strong role in guiding the entire economy. This crucial shift happened under the leadership of President Park Chung-hee. He believed that careful planning was the key to success. He introduced a major strategy called the 5-year economic plans. These plans were detailed documents. Each plan set clear goals for the country to reach over the next 5 years. The plans helped focus all of South Korea's limited money and resources on specific industries. The first of these plans started the nation on a new economic path. The most important part of this new strategy was called export-oriented industrialization. This means the country focused on making products to sell to people in other countries. It was a strategy based on looking outwards, not inwards. South Korea's own market was small and its people were poor. Therefore, relying only on local buyers would not help the economy grow fast enough. By selling goods abroad, South Korea could earn foreign money, such as US dollars. This foreign currency was extremely important. It allowed the country to buy new, modern machines and essential materials from richer nations. Without this export money, the factories could not become modern or produce high-quality goods. The government helped companies focus only on making products that the world wanted to buy. To support this plan, the government understood that South Korea needed better infrastructure. Factories cannot work without good roads and reliable power. The government invested a lot of money in building necessary systems. They built new roads and highways to help move products quickly from factories to ports. They also improved the ports themselves, making it easier and faster for ships to carry goods overseas. Furthermore, the government built many new power plants. Factories need a lot of electricity to run large machines, and the existing power supply was not enough. By ensuring reliable electricity and transportation, the government created the solid foundation needed for modern industry to grow. This big plan marked the beginning of South Korea's move away from being a poor farming nation to becoming a strong industrial power. 4. Big companies grow. The government had a big plan for the economy, but they needed powerful partners to make it happen. These partners were large, family-owned business groups. In South Korea, these groups are known as chaebols. The word chaebol is actually two Korean words put together. The first word means wealth, and the second word means clan or family. These companies became the powerful engines driving the country's rapid change. Central to the government's strategy was giving strong support to these chaebols. The government believed that these large companies, often led by powerful families, could compete successfully across the world. They gave the chaebols easy access to money through loans that had low interest rates. This financial help was essential. The government also provided subsidies and tax benefits. This meant the chaebols did not have to pay as much money in taxes. This special treatment helped the companies grow very fast and allowed them to take big risks and invest heavily in new equipment and factories without fear of failing. In the beginning, the chaebols focused on simple products, known as light industries. They made goods that were easy to produce and sell cheaply to foreign countries. For example, they made clothing, textiles, and basic electronic items. These exports were vital because they brought necessary foreign currency into the country. However, the chaebols did not stay small or simple for long. They quickly expanded into much heavier and more complex industries. This required massive amounts of money and advanced technology. The government pushed them to build large-scale factories and focus on things like steel production. Soon, South Korean companies were building huge ships, making the country a global leader in shipbuilding. They also started the nation's automotive industry, producing cars and trucks. This shift from simple goods to complex machinery showed that South Korea was quickly becoming a serious industrial power. Many of the world's most famous businesses started as chaebols during this period. For example, the company Samsung began its massive growth. Hyundai also became a major player, known for construction and later for its cars. LG is another important chaebol that grew quickly. These companies became huge groups, often controlling many different types of businesses at the same time, from electronics to finance. Their power grew along with the national economy. By 2021, the 10 largest chaebols were responsible for about 60% of the entire country's economic output. This fact highlights how incredibly central these family groups were to South Korea's transformation. 5. Learning is important. Education was a key element in South Korea's quick economic change. The government, along with the people, believed that learning was necessary for success. This strong focus on education helped the country move fast from being poor to becoming a global leader. After the war, the country had few natural resources. However, it had many people. The government decided to invest in these people, which is called human capital. They knew that factories and growing companies needed smart and skilled workers. If the workers were educated, the companies could make better products to sell around the world. The government therefore invested a lot of money in schools and universities. They built many new buildings for learning. This investment helped to create the skilled workforce that was essential for the country's industrial growth. Education was not just for basic literacy, it was a tool for industrialization. Korean society also placed a huge value on education. Parents often saw education as the best path for their children to have a better life. Going to university was seen as the main way to move up in society and get a secure, well-paid job. This powerful societal enthusiasm meant that students studied very hard and for many hours. To support the new export strategy and the growth of the big companies, the education system focused on specific areas. The country needed experts in technology and manufacturing. Therefore, subjects like science, mathematics, and engineering became very important in all schools and universities. The goal was to train thousands of engineers and technical staff every year. This strategic focus on technical training was very important. When chaebols like Samsung started expanding into electronics and heavy industries, they immediately had the necessary skilled labor force. They did not have to look outside the country for experts. South Korea was training its own high-level workers. This effort has led to impressive results. South Korea now has one of the highest rates of tertiary education completion in the world. This means that a very high number of people finish university or technical college. Having millions of well-educated citizens, especially in technical fields, was the main fuel that powered the country's rapid transformation into a technology giant. This emphasis on learning continues today, ensuring that new generations are well prepared for the future economy. 6. From copying to creating. In the early stages of its growth, South Korea needed to learn quickly. The country did not invent everything new immediately. Instead, South Korea looked at technology and products from other countries. They studied how these products worked. This important process is sometimes called adapting or reverse engineering. They took foreign technology and used it as a basis to build their own capabilities. This adaptation was a necessary first step for industrial development and gaining knowledge. However, the government and the business leaders knew that they could not copy forever. To become truly rich and competitive, South Korea needed to create its own technology. The national goal changed completely. South Korea had to move from being a follower to being a leader in innovation. This strategic shift was crucial. It meant the nation had to start inventing new things that the rest of the world would buy and depend on. The key to this massive change was investment. South Korea decided to spend a lot of money on research and development. Known as R&D, R&D means working hard in laboratories and research centers to develop new technology and improve existing products. Both the government and the big business groups, the chaebols, agreed that R&D was the future. They started pouring money into research centers and hiring many scientists and engineers. The chaebols played a huge role in this strategy. Companies like Samsung and LG understood that they needed unique technology to compete internationally. If they only copied, their products would always seem like cheaper versions of foreign items. By investing heavily in R&D, they could make the best and most advanced products in the world. This commitment helped make their brands strong and respected globally. The level of investment was massive and constant. Year after year, the government and the private companies increased their spending on innovation. This showed a deep, long-term commitment to technological advancement. For example, in the year 2021, South Korea was one of the top 5 countries in the world for R&D investment. They spent a very large percentage of their total economy on research. This percentage was, in fact, the second highest in the entire world. This focused investment allowed scientists and engineers to work on very challenging, complex projects. This strong commitment brought big results. South Korea stopped depending on foreign patents and designs. They started creating their own homegrown technologies. They quickly became world leaders in several important areas. One example is memory chips used for computers and smartphones. South Korea developed the most advanced memory chips globally. They also created innovative display technologies, such as the high-quality screens used on modern televisions and mobile devices. These products became famous around the globe. This success was proof that the strategic shift from copying to creating had been a success. 7. A tech leader today. Today, South Korea is known as a global technology superpower. This status is the result of decades of hard work and major investment. The country has successfully moved from receiving aid to leading the world in many important areas of technology. The influence of South Korea is felt across the globe, especially in electronics and digital culture. One of the most important sectors is electronics manufacturing. South Korean companies dominate several key markets. Companies like Samsung, LG, and SK Hynix are famous names around the world. These companies are central to the global supply chain. They make products that almost everyone uses every day. South Korea is particularly strong in semiconductors. These are tiny chips that are essential for all modern electronics, including smartphones, cars, and computers. The country is the world leader in producing advanced memory chips. These chips store the data that makes technology work. Without these high-tech components, the global IT industry would face serious problems. Display technology is another area where South Korea is number 1. This refers to the screens we use. South Korean companies produce very high-quality screens for televisions, tablets, and mobile phones. They are known for making displays that are bright, clear, and energy efficient. The nation's infrastructure is also world-class. South Korea boasts some of the fastest internet speeds on Earth. This fast connection is vital for businesses that need to share information quickly. It also allows citizens to access digital services instantly. The country was one of the first nations to fully adopt 5G network technology. 5G provides extremely fast mobile internet. This high-speed environment supports the country's vibrant digital economy. South Korea's technological power extends beyond just hardware. Its digital culture has become a massive global phenomenon, often called the Korean Wave. K-pop music is extremely popular internationally. Groups of singers and dancers from South Korea have millions of fans globally. Their success is supported by the nation's advanced digital platforms and social media access. Online gaming is also a major South Korean industry. The country has a deep culture of competitive video gaming. Many large international gaming events are held there. Some of the world's most famous and profitable video games were developed by South Korean companies. This continued success is based on a commitment to new ideas. The nation keeps investing heavily to stay ahead of other countries. This dedication is recognized globally. For instance, in the year 2025, South Korea was ranked number 4 in the Global Innovation Index. This ranking shows that the country is still one of the most inventive nations in the world. South Korea is a powerful example of how a country can completely transform its economy through focus on technology. 8. The future of tech. South Korea's incredible success story does not stop in the present day. The country is always looking ahead. It plans to keep its place as a global technology leader for the future. This requires constant investment in new and exciting fields. 3 areas are now receiving much attention and money: artificial intelligence, robotics, and biotechnology. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the study of making computers smart. AI can help systems learn and make decisions quickly. This technology is important for almost every industry, from cars to medicine. South Korea wants to be a top developer of AI systems. Robotics is another key area. Robots are machines that can do work. They are useful in factories where labor might be expensive or difficult. Robots can also help people in their homes or provide care for the elderly. As the population changes, robotics will become even more necessary for society. The government is spending money to make sure companies develop world-class robots. Biotechnology, or biotech, is the use of science to solve problems in health and agriculture. This includes making new medicines and finding better ways to treat illnesses. Biotech needs highly skilled scientists and long research periods. South Korea views this as a major future source of economic growth. While the big companies, or chaebols, continue to lead, the country also supports a strong innovation ecosystem. This means encouraging small, new companies called startups. Startups often have fresh ideas and can move very fast. The government provides money, training, and good business environments to help these small companies grow into big ones. This ensures that new ideas constantly enter the market. However, South Korea faces some big challenges. One major issue is the aging population. Many older people need support, and fewer young people are entering the workforce. This can put pressure on the economy. Another challenge is the strong competition from other nations. Countries like the United States, China, and Germany are also investing heavily in the same future technologies. To deal with these issues, technology is seen as the solution. Robotics can fill gaps caused by fewer workers. Biotechnology can help improve health care for older citizens. South Korea continues to spend a huge amount of money on research and development, R&D. This spending, as a percentage of the total economy, is one of the highest in the entire world. This commitment shows how serious the country is about staying ahead. Its strategy is working. In the Global Innovation Index, which measures how innovative countries are, South Korea recently ranked number 4. This ranking confirms its strong position in creating new technologies. The nation's journey, from being poor and war-damaged to becoming a modern, high-tech superpower, is a powerful example for the 21st century. South Korea plans to keep innovating and leading the world into the next age of technology.